Hello, everybody. My name is Drew Dosek, and welcome to Trading the Close. Today, we had a nice gap up in the markets. Then selling hit the markets all morning up until 11:30 a.m. And then it was almost like the selling switch was turned off and markets floated right back up to the green. So another green day, another new high in the S&P 500. And man, guys, it looks like this is not going to slow down, but we have a couple signals showing there should be some resistance approaching. I'm going to show you those here in a few minutes. Before then, let's get into the market summary board. You can see here we've got the Dow Jones up 0.22%, NASDAQ up 0.39%, S&P 500 up 0.14%. U.S. oil finally broke that trend line, folks, we've been talking about for quite some time, down 1.86%. Gold is down 0.25%, and Bitcoin is pushing higher, triggering that inverse head and shoulders pattern. I think we've got some more upside on Bitcoin, folks. So, all right, so let's jump into the S&P 500 heat map, see where all these stocks really panned out today. You can see NVIDIA up 0.84%, Apple up 0.62%, AVGO up 1.44%. Look at this, AMD up 3.53%, Intel also up 3.88%, Meta up 1.19%, Google basically flat, Microsoft down almost 1%. Tesla down about 4.95%. I think that's just a little bit of profit taking because that stock is a little bit overbought in the near term. We'll get into that chart and I'll show you that Tesla likely has some more upside once it does have its support hit. Next up, all right, the S&P 500, folks, check this out, man. All brand new all-time highs. Looks like we're teetering on closing near all-time highs. Let's look at the intraday to see really what happened. As you can see here, we had a nice gap up on the day this morning. First 10-minute candle displayed right here with my mouse. And then price, as I said, it was just selling all morning. We had selling, stair step down, 3 candles, another stair step down, 4 candles, stair step down, and then we started declining at a diagonal angle. If you guys recall, I talk about this a lot. That diagonal angle of decline usually results in a bounce. It usually doesn't result in further downside selling. You want to see proper bear flags. These are immature bear flags on the 10-minute, but you want to see a pattern kind of like this to keep going down. Or like we say in the stock market, stocks usually take the stairs up and the elevator down. So you either want to see the stairs down and or elevator, not this gradual decline, as that typically yields a bounce. And that's what we had right at 11:30. You can see the market just floated up, put in a small bull flag, floated ever more slightly. But look how tight these candles were. That tells me there wasn't a lot of institutional participation. Right here, the bigger candles, that's where the institutions were involved. Right here, they stepped aside. Markets floated up and started creating a small near-term cup and handle pattern. All right, so to see where we're going to be going in the long term, let's take a look over at the SPY. This is an ETF that does track the S&P 500. I bring this to your attention because we've got this longer term yellow inclining trend line right here from August 16th of 2022 connected over to the pivots in December of 2024. You can see price today gapped up above this level. Now, normally whenever we have that sort of bullish move where you have price gap above a resistance level, it usually goes. It usually just hits the gas pedal and continues moving higher. But today we didn't see that. We saw a sell-off back down underneath that trend line, as you see here today. And then price, when it came back up, where did it get rejected? Right here on this trend line, folks. Pretty amazing, but still, this is considered bullish consolidation going into the close. So we'll see tomorrow if we do gap up above this again and have any staying power. If we do, we could be headed up a little bit higher to the next resistance right here at 676.25 on the SPY. Next up on the Qs. Now, I illustrated a much larger parallel yesterday, and I can show you that to remind you, or for any new viewers today, you can see price action was really contained in this parallel ever since 2021. You can see it's tagged it on the top, on the bottom, twice now, but we haven't tagged it twice on the top. Now, an accelerated move like this, notice how when we broke the 50% area, we came back and retested. So we already checked that off the box. We pushed higher, and then we pushed higher again. You can almost notate this as being a period of consolidation. Now this push is pushing us back above this inclining trend line. Great push there on the Qs. You can see down here, though, at the bottom of the screen, we're starting to get some daily divergence with the RSI. That generally indicates we should have a little bit of a selling pressure hit the markets more closer to the near term, but you can't deny it, folks. We have a lot of room to run should the Qs continue surging higher. Next major resistance is going to be up here at the top end of this parallel, right around $662.81. I think it's prudent, though, for a little pullback and then a march up if that's going to be the case. Next up, the SMH. Now, guys, I've said this is a leading indicator for a while, and we have been pushing up and the markets have been pushing up. But really, the SMH gives us insight as to where the markets are going to go. Look at this beautiful gap higher today, but we didn't retrace underneath this inclining trend line. We didn't even tag it today. So that shows you the staying power of the semis. And guys, if you think about it, it does make sense. All these AI data centers being bought out or being built, and all these contracts being secured to fill those data centers with a boatload of computer products. So semis are in demand, and it looks like they'll stay that way at least for the near term. And if you look here on the chart, on the weekly chart, this really illustrates the accelerated move on SMH ever since the beginning of September. You can say that we really did consolidate from June 30th all the way through September, right at the beginning of September, and then we started ripping higher. Now, if you do calculate this as, say, a big move up and a potential bull flag, that could take us all the way up here to 412.44. Now, I don't think we're going straight there. There's going to be stops and pullbacks along the way, but that's what the charts are saying. Man, we could be going much higher on the charts. But again, we should be having some sort of pullback or several pullbacks before we get up to that level. It's all determined upon where the resistance is. Next major resistance is going to be up here at 358.26. Next up, the IWM. You can see here the IWM, after its decline from this topping tail, we did drift down. Now we've had basically 6 days moving right back up, getting close to this topping tail. So now we closed within this topping tail candle. We'll see tomorrow what sort of resistance is provided by this topping tail. They usually do provide a lot of selling opportunities for anybody that didn't sell the IWM when price got up here. This is usually a signal to go ahead and start selling. We'll see if that happens. Ultimately, that topping tail will be the resistance for the near term, 247.18. Next up, the Dow Jones. Dow Jones also creeping higher. Look at this consolidation right under this trend line. Now, a couple things to note here. Usually when price consolidates right under a trend line, it's going to break higher. But we've got this topping tail to contend with. Still haven't gotten above it. Notice how many days we've closed inside of that tail. We've now done it 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 times. So be watching this topping tail, 46,714 on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. That should be the resistance at the top. We'll see if we can't beat it in the coming days of trading. Next up, Bitcoin. Guys, been talking about this, and ever since this neckline broke, we're going to be looking at more upside on Bitcoin, potentially up here to $127,459. Now, and excuse me, sorry about that. So we had a nice measured move potential all the way up here. What that's doing is it's lifting up a whole bunch of other altcoins while this march is moving up on Bitcoin. It's a great thing for anybody holding alts, as they should be able to capitalize on these gains in the near term, especially once price pushes all the way up here. Now, the next major resistance and hurdle for Bitcoin to get over is going to be the top end of this parallel at $124,812. Next up, we've got gold. Both gold and silver really took pauses today. They didn't really do too much as far as where they're closing. They basically are closing right around where price action was yesterday. You can see there was a lot of sellers that did step up for gold, but then equal amount of buyers pushing price back up with this nice wick on the daily candle. All right, so let's check out silver. As I said, silver didn't really move too much. Same almost concept that went on gold. We've got decent wicks on the bottom and the top of silver. So it shows you there's about equal forces there of buyers and sellers in the market. Next up, guys, you know what's so funny about this? Yesterday, I was talking about throwing away this chart. I've talked about this trend line for so many times. And then finally, this trend line breaks. It was almost like I was foreshadowing and the charts heard me saying I was tired of looking at the same trend line providing bounces. And then boom, today finally broke it. All right. So the lows today on oil got down to $60.40. I do think should we have the sustaining move, we should come down, catch some decent support right around $59.50 on the chart of US oil. Be watching for that level to be tagged potentially as early as tomorrow. Next up, Nat Gas. What a rocket ship on Nat Gas today. Nice pop higher. Notice we blasted through this resistance at 357. However, closed the day right back down here at 357. So this does not confirm the breakout from this declining trend line. So this area could be just minor support right here, $3.50. More solid support on Nat Gas is going to be down here at $3.37. I do think eventually this 383 will get tagged. Just a matter if we get support with this nice pullback. Near term, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles straight up. Makes sense. We do take a pause, have a little profit taking price come in just ever so slightly before potentially moving up to that $3.83 target. All right, next up, we've got Applied Digital. Now, this is more of a smaller cap company, and Applied Digital has its hands in high performance computing as well as AI applications here in the United States, based out of Dallas, Texas. Look at the fantastic technical analysis on this chart. If I scroll back out, you notice this parallel channel. Price was contained in here from July of 2022 all the way until most recently, till about, we've got here in August of this year. Price broke out, came and retraced, broke out some more, came and retested again, and then blasted through this inclining trend line, and then paused, pulled back, caught support right here, 2146. This illustrates how strong this stock is, being that it is tied up in AI data center contracts. Notice that big march up, pull back to support, didn't even pull back to this support. This should have been the area that price would have come down to, especially after a rapid pace pushing up on the charts that we see. We didn't get that pullback. We only got a minor pullback, and I say minor, that was 18%. Guys, consider that. This little dip, even though I say it's a minor pullback, that was 18% drawback, catching support here at $21.46. And that 18% pullback only took 3 or 4 trading days before it's now rocketed back up, reaching a high today of 35% gains from that low. But then it did pull back because this level of resistance did start shutting it down, offering investors to go ahead and take profits on this near-term rapid move. You can see obviously overbought down here on the RSI on the bottom of the screen. Still fantastic move for APLD. A lot of analysts are targeting this to go much higher than its all-time highs, considering this AI data center build out is really picking up steam. It can even, a lot of analysts I've even read the other night, they were talking about $40 to $45 targets in the near term on APLD. So any pullbacks on this stock are buying opportunities. Considering it's overbought in the near term, I still would target right around here, 21.46. If you're aggressive, you can get in under 25, right around $24. Again, that would be more of an aggressive stance to take there for APLD. Next up, Symbotic, another company involved in this AI and tech-driven rally. Symbotic has more to do with robots and artificial intelligence incorporated in those robots. But you can see a similar breakout pattern occurring here where we broke out, retested, but this time on Symbotic, we sold through this level of support only to catch more support just slightly under and rip right back over here to the previous all-time highs at $64.14. Next level of resistance is going to be up here at $69.54. So we still got some legs to run here on Symbotic. Also with this stock and APLD, pullbacks can be buying opportunities. Pullbacks down here to under $55 along this inclining trend line, followed by this trend line right around 48. will be nice entries. Now, again, that will be aggressive, folks. So keep that in mind. A lot of these stocks are running off the charts. And when they do run like that, they typically have a sharp drawback. But you see here, we can easily bounce right back up with this high demand. A lot of investors piling over each other to get in some of these plays, especially on the smaller cap companies, because they can run 30 to 200% without much effort at all. Next up, Coinbase. Now, Bitcoin making a nice push. You can see Coinbase doing the same thing here today too, up 7.48%. Nice push there on Coinbase. You notice we did have an inclining trend line when price came down, broke, and now price is trying to retest that trend line. Next major area of resistance is going to be on this trend line in Coinbase. Watch if we hit $389.16 tomorrow. Now, if we continue pushing, maybe consolidate and then push higher, next major level of resistance will be up here around $429.54, which in essence is the previous all-time highs when they did IPO. And then we did pierce that most recently before dropping back down, now retesting the area that we broke with this trend line. Next up, we got Tesla. Tesla, as you see here, massive down day, engulfing reversal candle on the chart. That's a near-term bearish indicator and sign for more downside to come potentially for Tesla. Interesting thing though, and I pointed this out on a previous show, look at this mammoth inverse head and shoulders pattern on Tesla. So this inverse head and shoulders pattern has a projected move up here to new all-time highs at $512.97. Now you may be saying, why is it up that high? You know, this is Tesla. But you guys got to remember, Tesla's involved with robotics too. So their products with robots are going to be coming out in the next couple of years. We'll see how they deploy, how they're received. However, this and Symbotic, they're definitely got their eyes on the future for solving problems in the future that we were unaware of that could be solved by robots. So interesting play here for spec money. Any levels of support here, $424.13. $395.17, and followed by the most conservative level to purchase down here at $381.37 would be great areas to enter Tesla for this potential measured move target at $512.97. Lastly, Netflix, guys, look at this. All right, so the other day we did have price break this head and shoulders pattern displayed on the chart of Netflix. The price broke yesterday. Today pushed down and confirmed. However, look where it caught support. It caught support on this inclining trend line back from a pivot from November of 2021. And if I scroll back out on the charts, you can see right here, price pierced it ever so slightly today, got as low as $1,134 before rocketing back up, creating a near-term bottoming tail on the daily chart. So we've got some mixed signals here on Netflix. We should be coming down to $951.65 with this measured move on the head and shoulders pattern. However, this neckline is now very, very close. Neckline is at $1,176.43. If we have price action get back above this and close, that could negate this potential measured move target. So we're really teetering. Are we about to break down more? Are we not? The charts tell us that we should be. Probabilities say that we should be coming down here under $1,000. We'll see if that plays out or if the buying pressure resumes from this support, pushing us back over that neckline. Critical levels here for Netflix to monitor in the very near term. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. That wraps up today's show. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the show. We want to make sure all your friends are financially independent. Send this off to them so they can get some great insight into technical analysis in the markets. I'll see you guys next week on Monday. Until then, have a fantastic weekend, folks, and I'll see you on the charts.